Wow. And here we are. So I'm looking in the wrong place. Hey, if you're actually with us live, this is Apra PD. We're live from Indiana, and you can't see it, but we're right here in the middle of the beauty of Indianapolis, and we've got our first guests here celebrating Apra PD. So come on into frame.
Hello, everybody.
And of course, we have Cherise. Yeah. Definitely, yes. And we also have with us in the background silently is our producer, Jack. So he will let us know when we're out of frame or not making any sense or we can't be heard. So this is the mic I'll be using to so that they can hear you. And Jack, let us know if everything looks right from your angle. This is yes, here we are. I know the conference has already started, but let's pretend it hasn't yet.
Okay, sure.
So what do you think? Are you excited?
I mean, I couldn't be more excited. I'm here local in Indianapolis. So to welcome everybody to my city is fantastic. Somehow I packed 7 dresses for 4 days. I don't know why when I live so close, but so excited to have everybody come here. Yeah, it's going to be really great.
So from the board perspective, she'll have to cover her ears. Is it working out? And what do you think?
Oh, it's absolutely working out. I think we are having an amazing conference. Carrick spoke this morning that we are back to pre-pandemic numbers. So hooray that people are not only here in person, but also virtually. So getting those numbers back up and feeling the Apra community here is something that I look forward to every single year. And this is my first year as a full board member at the conference. So very happy to be here in Indianapolis.
Congratulations on that and on regrowing Apra from the ashes of the pandemic.
Yes.
Although Apra did a lot of great things during the pandemic, you found ways to bring people together in a very tough time.
Absolutely.
So what is it like being together in real life? For year 2, I guess.
I mean, it's fantastic. I will say I'm out of practice a little bit. I am out of practice from knowing so many amazing people and saying hi. And it's a weird feeling again, but it's so amazing. I don't think that I really get the true connection until you are all together in a room. So it's really nice.
Absolutely. And recognizing people outside of Zoom is a special talent. I walk up and see people, but since the name is not right here that I can't see, I'm like, I know you. How do we know each other? And then you have to look down and recognize, but it's always like, oh, I know what your house looks like in the background because we are perpetually on Zoom.
That's right. Yeah. Where are we without our cats? And it's a little confusing. Yes, our bookshelves. I appreciate your saying that because I'm a little face blind in the first place. And then you add to the fact that we've only been seeing people's faces be about, yay big.
Yes.
So what is it like when you're getting together, not just in real life and bringing people together professionally, but you've also got a lot of newcomers. This list, I've talked to some of the people we'll see in a minute who've been coming here for decades, and they don't recognize a lot of the names, which is exciting for Apra. But what is it like to bring all these new people into the fold?
I was going to say, it's just such new energy because I think I have been a part of the industry for 20 years this year. And to see that, I remember my first conference. I remember being a first-time attendee and being slightly overwhelmed and thinking, oh my gosh, what's going on? What should I do? Right. So I do try, as I see people have the new first-time attendees on their badges, go up, say hi, I'm a PD guide. So I want to make the experience as wonderful as possible. So those new attendees this year will 20 years from now also be here again.
Yeah. And
to also work with each other, we have probably the nicest, most friendly group of people in Apra. And everyone feels welcome when you come into the space. And I think we definitely do that and have that culture just be presented to all the new people who are here.
Right. You said your first conference was 20 years ago.
Well, I started in the industry 20 years ago. My very first conference was 2009 in Boston.
In Boston.
Yes.
Okay. How about you?
2013 in Vegas.
In Vegas.
I always tell the story. I'm still shy, introverted. I walked into the room, didn't know anybody, knew the profession. I saw the Apra board. I said, I want to be that. I want to have a community. I want to feel like I belong. And here I am. So it's really cool to see full circle, but it's just so welcome. I wouldn't be able to do it without the people. I mean, everybody is so welcoming, generous. It's a great community. And so I can't wait for that for the new people.
Yeah. Any tips for people who are attending either in person or online sessions you are pretty excited about personally?
I mean, we have a great slate. We really vetted speakers. We have an amazing. There's a crypto technology session that's coming. And I think that there is a wide mix of all different kinds. And so I think people can just really rely on the session description, show up, and then really take advantage of the networking. That's really the key.
How about for you?
I would highly recommend attending Apra Talks. I think that is something that hasn't always been a part of the conference, but I'm happy it sticks around because it gives you an idea outside of just one person's perspective in a workshop, that you have panels and people talking from a lot of different perspectives.
Right. As an old Apra talker, I feel you, and I definitely like that. Thank you. So maybe you can also help me with one other thing, which is to open the bubbly.
Okay. People at home, I am terrified of opening the bubbly. So I will be over here cowering a little. Do you want to go ahead and do it?
You want to try?
Where's our sword?
Oh, and you've got these nice nails. Do you want me to do something?
I'm kind of like, where's the thing?
Well, if you'd like.
A tab, but maybe I just drink the cheap stuff.
Oh, no,
got it.
Okay. Aim for the windows. No, I didn't say that, Marriott. We're kidding. All right.
Right.
Yes. No, I'm always baffled by these guys.
Where the actual
is.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's what I felt.
Brace yourself. And we don't do this at every Apra conference. Okay. This is special. Ooh. Whoa. Holy cow. All right.
Why you pointed away from your face?
Nailed it.
Well, please serve yourselves a little. Thank you so much for kicking off the red carpet event. Maybe we can keep doing this. But we're going to move on and welcome some other people in the room. Thank you both very much.
Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, so stay right there. Okay, we're ready for another 2x2. So. Okay. All right. Coming back into frame. And here we go. We just opened the bubbly. If you heard that gunshot, that's what was happening. But before you have any, yes, so I should have warned you about the cord. Come on in and say hello to the folks at home. So, and would you mind introducing yourself? So,
I'm Dina Zaleski.
Yes, and why are you both here at APRA?
Because we're awesome and Fred's awesome. I am a former board member and former president, and I love APRA. I can't get away.
You can't get away.
I cannot get away.
And nor should you.
Nor should I. APRA is my community, and it will always be my community.
Yeah, and you've been coming here a few times yourself.
I'm also a former board member. I served with Liz, and I came last year, but I didn't come a few years before that, so I'm happy to. And last year I could only come for a short time, so I'm happy to be here and fully immersed.
Yeah, and I know that for some of us it has been a while. I mean, between the pandemic and just other changes. So, what is it like to come back into the middle of all this? It's a pretty good sized conference this year, right?
It's over 1,000 folks. Some are online, some are here in person. And yes, online. It feels like home. Like it's like a kind of like a reunion party. You see some of your old friends. You get to meet new folks. Again, first time attendees, and like that excitement and newness, and bringing them into the fold. It's always, I don't know, it's just very joyful for me. Yeah, and it's nice to be back and have in-person conversations and hugs and yeah.
And it's nice to connect with vendors. There are new vendors here. That's true. I feel like there's new products that we can look at, lots of new people to meet. Like, I think it used to be, I definitely don't know as many people as I knew at one time, but.
Well, having a lot of new people it's exciting. It means that there's a lot of energy in the field, while not losing some of the, experienced folks out there.
It's a beautiful mix. I love how you frame that, Jay. It's a beautiful mix of like experienced folks and then that new energy, and then coming together with that overall enthusiasm. Yeah, it can't be beat. It's magic.
Magical.
Well,
like a Disney princess would say.
Wow. It's magically delicious. So what's most different now? I mean, because we've all been attending these things for a long time, but as you say, there's some new vendors, there's some new people. What's the new theme? I mean, if any, the new discussion, the thing that really is changing and shaking things up?
I would say it's like a new theme, but I like that there's more data analytics built into the regular tracks as opposed to just as only in that separate initial, data science separate structure on the few days before. I think it seems nice that we get a little bit more data science in all of our sessions. It seems there's a lot more variety, it feels like.
For sure. I think it's sessions that aren't necessarily 100% tactically focused on prospect research or relationship management or data science. It's about, there's a lot of us folks who are in managerial positions or positions of leadership who need to navigate HR, working with others, collaboration. And so there are sessions like that. I mean, my session is about how to have meetings that don't suck. It's auto.
So how many hundreds of people were in that session?
So we'll see. But I think that's nice. It becomes not so tunnel vision focused on really tacticals, but it's kind of broadening out and really looking very holistically on different areas that do still touch prospect development and prospect development professionals, but may not be 100% like how to make the most awesome prospect profile.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing that it's not all the same old thing that, and it's also not just solely, here's the new technology, but it's different ways of working together.
Yes.
There are a lot of people in the field, again, who have not moved out of it, but moved into, their positions have kind of evolved and their roles have evolved in the field. Do you get a sense of that, of how prospect development, prospect research, all the things that APRA has been about have influenced that change, for folks?
Well, as someone who is not in prospect research, but is actually more in the fundraising operations space. So to your exact point, it's like a parallel field, but it involves prospect development and data management. I still feel like this is where my people are. I still get lots of great learning, still got lots of great connections, and still things that are very tangible and relevant. And I think, it is broadening in that regard, for sure.
And I was just going to say, I feel like we are in this profession and we've been in it for a long time where it's not the same. Like it has evolved so much over the course of time that I've been involved in it anyway. It has evolved so much that there's just constant learning and you're constantly learning from everybody else. And so that fundamental aspect of APRA where you learn from others hasn't changed, but the breadth, I think, is it's just so much more broad than it used to be.
What are you looking forward to at this conference besides your own session? What's the big one for you? Anything?
I just love connecting with folks. Dina was saying, great vendors like DonorSearch and other fellow colleagues, meeting those new people. To me, those connections are so incredibly important. And it's, again, you can only find it here in person. You can't find it necessarily in other conferences or in other areas. So.
Right.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I was going to say the same thing, and I'm not even going to try and be original because I feel like I think that's for me. That's it. That's why you're physically here. Not only to learn, but to actually meet people and talk to people and exchange cards and exchange ideas and make follow-ups and all that.
Okay, so it's not just the champagne.
No.
Well, thank you. It's good to see you in real life. Yeah. And I'm glad you could spare a few minutes to hang out with the folks at home. But there is an argument for not only hanging out with us a couple times a week in the Philanthropy Mastermind series, but to see if you can come back to the home turf and hang out with good friends, new and old, at APRA. So if you haven't thought about next year's conference yet, and I hope you're doing that, do look online and plan to come. Thank you both very much for doing this. Really, really appreciate it. And do have some champagne before you walk out of here. And if you don't want the alcohol, we have an alcohol free, but please pour yourself a glass while I bring some more people in the room. Bye. Just bringing people in.
I was gonna say, I have to go to the client meeting,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's like
I'm
you're
on.
out here.
Yeah. Hi. And now I've been asked to bring in people one at a time. So this makes it more challenging. But so Aisha, you want to? Okay. All right. So you're never supposed to bring a microphone with you when you're having other conversations, but I've broken that rule because I like to break rules. Aisha, thank you for being here. I'm supposed to hold this close to you. So let me forgive my hand. But yeah, so first of all, who are you? Where are you from? Why are you here?
Hello, everyone. I am Aisha Maddox. I am from Orlando, Florida area. I am the chapter president of Apra Florida. I am here because I am presenting at Apra Talks this year. So
Yes,
I'm looking forward to that. I'm the director of research and relationship management at Rollins College. And so doing all things dealing with prospect development in every area of prospect development.
Okay, so Apra Talks, we were just talking about it a little bit a few minutes ago. What makes them special and what are you going to be talking about?
Apra Talks is special because it's a chance for us to kind of learn what's going on in our industry. It's a chance for us to kind of hear voices and hear different points of views and perspectives, views. What I'll be presenting on is basically how my career path, my journey, and how did I advocate for myself through my path and through our journeys. And that's pretty much the theme of, if you heard from our speaker this morning and everything, basically the theme is how are we advocating for ourselves in our professional development industry.
Okay, why is this so important? I mean, just because
it's important because we have a voice, we need to use it, and we have a voice in fundraising that sometimes this get minimized amongst the other fundraising professionals.
Right.
So it's important to advocate for what we do in our industry and prospect research, prospect development, prospect management in all various different areas, because again, we are fundraisers, number one.
Yes. Okay. This has been a theme also for as long as I can remember. We are fundraisers too. And this advocacy piece is part of the job, not just for others, not just for organizations, but also for ourselves. But that part seems to be the part that we have given short shrift for a long time. And maybe sometimes our offices have too, especially for people in the prospect development range, where sometimes our offices were in different zip codes.
Exactly.
Is this changing?
It's changing. People are recognizing and understanding more about the need of prospect research, but it's still a long way to go. We still have that long stride and march and race. It's kind of like that country race where you're going across the country. Right. And so it's a slow race, but we're going to win it. We're going to do what we need to do, but you just got to be prepared to be hydrated. And so that hydration comes with that advocacy. That hydration comes with talking about yourself, talking about what you're doing and putting yourself in the forefront of what's going on.
Do you mind talking a little bit about your chapter? Because you've done really cool things there. Something that we're hoping to partner on together.
Yes,
game shows and all other sorts of things that have really engaged the community. So we're not just sitting in our cubicles isolated. We're working together and we're having fun.
Exactly.
What have you done there? What can others do in their chapters and organizations?
Oh, you can do everything in your chapter. I'd say the biggest thing is to just get involved and learn and know about each other. To me, getting involved in a chapter is building a support system. And so what we do to help kind of do that support system is what we call Wind Down Wednesdays. But it's not really wine. It's basically informal networking. It's a chance for us to play games or just network and get to know what's going on with each other. A chance to kind of decompress. As somebody said, step away from what's going on in your day to day, and just a way to just have fun. And sometimes it's very knowledgeable as far as we're talking about key points and key things like with APRA or research or some fundraising questions. And sometimes it's just really fun, like, who's your favorite Disney character?
Who is your favorite Disney character?
Oh, I have too many to name, so I can't go down.
Sounds a little cagey. I don't know.
No, right now I would say it's Ursula, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah. That's a very, very interesting choice. It is.
The temptation of Ursula.
Yeah, very, very cool. Yes. Okay. Well, so for this conference, besides this talk you're going to be giving yourself. What else are you looking forward to? What's a high point for you?
The high point for me is always learning from someone else.
Okay.
So I love going to these conferences because it's a chance, yes, to reconnect with my peers, but it's a chance for me to learn something new. It's something I can take to my team, take back to my institution, and also, again, advocating for my team by initiating something new. So I love learning from others when I come to these conferences.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing here, for being a friend along the path. I'm looking forward to working with you soon on something through the Mastermind series.
Definitely.
But you just have to look forward to that. Keep watching the schedule for it, but also watch everything that she does. And if you don't have it on your schedule to watch her talk, I hope you will, because those will be recorded, right, and posted to the
Yes,
Apra page.
they will be recorded. They're tomorrow morning. So please join us. I believe it's at 8:45 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So please join us. They are going to be recorded. So even if you're paying for the virtual or if you're paying for the sessions, you can have access to it.
Yeah, it's a high point for the conference. And so it's something you don't want to miss. Thank you so much, Anika,
Thank you, Jay.
for hanging out. Have a glass of champagne while I bring somebody else in the room. Okay, so sit tight. All right. And so here we go. And just, whoa.
I wanted to make it in.
You did. No, you didn't. But it does remind me that I didn't even turn this on. So watch what I'm going to do. I should have said that. Yes. Well, it was exciting. And yes. And the camera's over here. This is.
Make an entrance. It will be memorable.
Definitely. You're memorable already, but yes.
Yeah, because I already tripped.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on your way tripping in lightly here, this is Sarah Richards. And Sarah, where are you from? Do you mind asking to introduce yourself?
Dynamic Catholic in Northern Kentucky, and a beautiful state. We do a lot with book distribution and free online content and stuff. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. You've been there how long now?
Almost 11 years.
Yes.
I know people are like, well, it's pretty cool if you're there that long. I said, yes, it is. It is. Very special place.
It's hard to sometimes for many people in the field to find that kind of connection with colleagues.
Yeah.
You found it.
I did.
It's a special place. How did you initially even find them?
So I didn't apply for prospect race. Like a lot of people, you kind of stumble into the position, but the founder, I heard him speak. He's a motivational speaker. He speaks at top Fortune 500 companies and stuff. And I heard him speak when I was high school. And I said, where do I go to college? What do I do? I want to work for you someday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
And he replied and said, do whatever you want to do. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And then I worked in a nonprofit in LexisNexis and stuff during my undergrad. And then when I graduated, I just applied for every role they had. And I got none of them. And then they called me back and they said, hey, you have experience in fundraising. Do you want to come do that? I was like, sure, if that's what you're offering. And then I was like an annual donor portfolio.
Sure.
And somebody said, you know your donors unlike anybody else. This is a profession. This is a thing you can do.
Right.
And so I stumbled into research that way.
Wow. Okay. So for those who have not lived both those worlds, which are quite different.
Yeah.
What makes the research role, the prospect development role, special and appealing to you?
I love the stories. I love learning about people. It's in the puzzle. I'm very curious. I did one of those exercises where it's okay, you have all these words and you're trying to find what word matches you best. Curiosity was my word. And I was like, this makes sense, right? I just want to put the pieces together and solve it. It's a high. People talk about the reason gambling is so addicting is you play and you're playing for that high. So research is the same thing, right? You're looking, and then you find that piece that's the stock hold. Oh my gosh, they are the person who,
Wow. That's such a great analogy. And it's so true and terrifying in a way.
In case you don't get the hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have 2 cents left.
It's a pretty healthy high though, because you're just filling your brain with information. So there's nothing really bad about that.
About so many industries, right?
Sure.
Truffle industry, my favorite research project.
Truffle?
Somebody, one of our donors owns a large truffle company. So I had to research truffles. It was awful. It was amazing.
I have trouble with truffles. I don't know. I don't know.
Not the chocolate version.
No.
Yeah,
you like them.
Yeah, the industry's fascinating too.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll have to talk about that offline. And if you have questions about truffles, obviously, contact Sarah. She knows. So you're here at this conference. Which one is this for you? I mean, how many
This is
times have you gone?
second.
Oh, way, really?
Policy then, unless you can, just for financial reasons, unless you can drive, you can't go.
Unless you can drive.
Yes.
How far distance is this for you?
This-
Kentucky. Okay. Okay.
I've also been to Pittsburgh because that was drivable.
Okay.
So yeah, it's only my second one.
So if it comes to DC again, are you barely in there?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah. That's
Wow.
probably a little borderline. And I was not quite in it yet for Nashville. Because
Okay.
when it was in Nashville, that would have totally been like
That was-
within this
that was
year.
a while ago now.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. I wasn't within that.
Well, the driving didn't hurt you during the virtual times.
No, it
So that was not a problem. Drive to your desk.
Yes.
You're all set. How is it different for you from that kind of virtual experience to being in a place like this?
So much better.
Yeah. Why?
Because you bump into people, right? Like you're just walking down a hall, like, oh, gosh. And you,
So are you recognizing people?
oh, yeah.
Oh, because this whole thing with the faces being, just an
Yeah.
inch tall.
You think,
I don't know. Some people know right away and some people don't.
oh, I'm not going to lie. There was a person I walked by and then they actually recognized me. And then I was like, oh, and yeah,
Right.
but it did their hair changed. So.
Yeah. Yes, I understand. Well, in fact, I saw a friend with a mask and I didn't recognize them. The same, the same thing.
It's so much everything. You get conversations you would not otherwise have virtually. That's just
True.
reality.
Yeah, it is. It is different. And there are also conversations at different times of day
yeah.
over different, foods, and sometimes that leads to different
That's
different
fair.
experiences.
Conversations with DonorSearch about like the AI technology and everything, and some I wouldn't have had otherwise. Like it wouldn't have been right. It's just different. It's different.
Yeah, there's a formality to some of the stuff that happens virtually.
Yes.
Which I still enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're doing a lot of webinars and they're great, but it's different when you're
Yeah.
just sitting around talking.
Yeah.
Different
Like
things emerge.
boxed, even though the script is a box, you
Right.
really feel boxed in.
Right. So, what's the big thing you're looking forward to here? Sessions or other kinds of things?
So I'm presenting on Salesforce tomorrow. I love Salesforce. It's amazing. And Salesforce actually has headquarters here in Indianapolis. I'm trying to remember which direction it is.
Oh, okay.
And ideally, like I want to talking to more people, like
Yeah.
who are using it, how are they using it, like that. And I was told to find another vendor. So having fun conversations with those people too.
Sure. And there are good vendors in the hall, lots of them.
Yes. Yeah.
With lots of things to not just to sell, but I've always found them, most of them anyway, open to having conversations about what can we be doing,
Yeah.
what should we be doing.
Yeah.
And that's something that also you can do at a conference, which is different.
About it differently too,
Right.
right? Like, cause you think maybe they're going to solve like this problem. And then you think about even the way you're looking at your data differently. Cause you're like, oh, well, I didn't even think about it that way,
Right.
which is really cool. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What are you excited about? Shane?
Well, oh my gosh,
this is it. This is it.
This is one. Yeah, well, this is one of the things. No. Well, I'm going to talk to a number of the members of the Apra board in a little bit. So we're
Yes.
recording a conversation for distribution later. So you have to watch for that. But
So we
yeah, I
have to
agree.
see this.
Not right away. Yeah, sorry.
So there's drawbacks. to
There are
being
drawbacks.
in person.
Private conversation.
You have to be in formal clothes.
Yes,
It's special.
absolutely. Well, somebody asked me if I brought a tuxedo. And I thought, well, why would I have a
Because the
tuxedo? Because the red carpet. By the way, there is no red carpet here. You can't see that on camera.
Visual goggles to make it.
Yes,
so there's a-
please just put those on. Pretend it's, I don't know. My earliest memory of that kind of thing is Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and our producer will remember that. And you had those little glasses. Anyway, but that's another story. Thank you for all of this. And before you go away, please have a glass of champagne. They did, but you can pop another bottle if you want and have a cookie and no, just aim away. That's it. One already hit the ceiling. Sorry, Marriott.
Comes in, you will have a great day.
I don't drink.
Well, then.
I just watch, and that's pretty fun too. We have that. But now I'm going to bring in one more guest, so stick with me. Come on. Yeah, you can. Thank you. Whoops, look at that. I'm tripping over my own cord. Hi, thank you for being so patient. This is kind of crazy. So the audience is here. I'm just a bystander, but Lucy, thank you very much for being here. Yeah. Can you tell our audience where you're coming in from?
Yeah. I'm Lucy Pasteur, and I'm coming from Temple University in Philadelphia. So had a wild trip here, but that was fun.
What happened?
Just took an insane route. So I flew from Philly to Chicago and Chicago to here on my
okay.
plane. So overshot and then went back.
How tiny?
The smallest, but like pretty small.
Not propellers or anything.
No.
Okay. Because I used to take those up here, and it's really not fun.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, but you eventually made it.
Yeah.
So all things are good. And why are you, which conference is this for you, and which number?
Fourth conference I've been to, and it's the first one that I've been to since 2019, I believe. Okay. My first one was Nashville.
Right.
And I went to Anaheim and Pittsburgh, and there's been a lull since then. So that's, but this has been great, and I'm really happy to be back. I'm excited to be like seeing people again in person and just having a great time. Yeah.
What's the high point, or what were you looking forward to or experiencing?
Well, I'm going to be speaking and presenting for the first time. So that's pretty exciting. That's going to be happening later this afternoon. And
talk about your talk.
Yeah. So I and Sarah Cadbury, who is my boss at Temple, and she's also with GG&A as a vice president of, I believe it's prospect development there. We are presenting on a new way to track prospect statuses that isn't so much tied to the idea of the current proposal that you're asking about. And it's a little bit of a case study, but it's also kind of like hopefully getting people in the mindset where they can kind of figure out a new system that works for them. We completely scrapped our old system and came up with a new one for a number of reasons. It wasn't really working for us. And we have a new system, new dashboards, new ways to discuss portfolios with gift officers during their review. And it's been a really interesting experience. We put together a presentation about it. And that's what we're going to be talking about this afternoon.
Is that a homegrown dashboard?
Yes.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was built in Tableau, but all of that stuff was from scratch, basically.
Okay. Wow. I'm sure a lot of people would like to see that. Is that something? Okay. So in addition to the session, the dashboard you built, is that something you're sharing, or?
Some screenshots being shown with the information redacted, but I mean, it'll give you an idea of how we look at this information. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because for a lot of us, we draw a blank. The problem is we're sitting there, it's like a blank sheet of paper. We don't know what to do. If you've designed a system, it really helps people move to the next level. It's something we all would really benefit from.
Basically, we have very simple measurements that you can kind of stack on top of each other to get like more nuanced segments when you're looking at a portfolio.
Sure.
So really excited to talk about it. And I had a conversation with my mother a little while ago, and she said, what are you presenting on? And I started talking to her about it, and I heard her interest training, but I kept going. I was in it, and I was going to tell her the whole thing. So that was, I mean, I feel ready to go. Yeah.
So when you tell members of your family what you do for a living, what do they even know? Do they even understand what you do?
Vaguely. So there's some understanding. I think that this is another reason that it's so fun to be at these conferences. You don't have to go through that full backstory about this is what I do really involves. It's just kind of, you can give you can just kind of launch into it and give much more shorthand answer to whoever you're meeting with. And I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of people and positions that are represented here, but the language is similar enough that you don't have to spend a half hour describing what your job is. So
only a half hour?
Yeah, exactly. That's the short version.
That's right. Well, I'm glad your mother is still listening to your tales of woe, because it's hard. It's hard to do that. So you're here with your comrades in arms finally since 2019. I assume that the interruption was probably this little virus that was going around, maybe.
has been budget related as well. So, I mean, we've always we have a fairly large team. We have like 7 people on our prospect development team. And so we usually can only send like 3 people max, but lately
Sure.
it's, the last couple of years, especially, we weren't able to send anyone. And actually the main reason that I was able to go this year was thank you, Apra Foundation. I won the scholarship and that was a huge deal for me.
Right.
So, it was honestly like a huge blessing, and I'm so excited to be here and be back.
Well, congratulations on that. And these awards, all the awards that are given by APRA every year it's a big help is if you're out there in the vendor community and you're thinking about ways that you can be involved with this and get to know these folks, hopefully without making them explain for 3 hours what they do for a living, then I hope that you'll consider underwriting some of these awards along with the current sponsors. They're really
It
important.
means the world to us, honestly.
Yeah, it does. I mean, even in a big shop, if you've got 7 people, that's a large shop. If you don't know, and you probably have a budget that goes with that, but that doesn't give you a room that's flying around in a private jet to go to every conference all over the place.
Exactly. The one of the questions on the application for the award was how many people are on your team and what is the professional budget? And I think it worked out to like $50 a person or something insanely low like that, and I mean, obviously not everybody's going to be going to a conference every year, but what we're working with is so tight. And I think that, having these opportunities at the chapter level, at the national level, it's so important. And it's such a great professional development opportunity for us, honestly.
Right. Yeah. I think as we kind of wrap towards the end of our red carpet this year, that's a great note to end on. Although I will have to say one thing, because this is a fabulous blouse and I haven't had a chance to say something like that yet at a red carpet event. But it really is pretty special. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed some of this conversation. I know that if I haven't held the mic the way I should have, you might have missed a little bit. So the way to avoid that in the future is actually to come to the next conference. And then when you want to hear more from people, of course, like Lucy or her colleague, Sarah, or all the other people who are here, we do have sessions that are going on once or twice a week through the Philanthropy Mastermind series. So I hope you'll join us for some of those. But in the meantime, I'm just going to invite you to maybe sit in the rest of this conference, plan to go to the next one, or just watch and envy as we invite her to have a little bubbly. And so with that, we're going to say goodbye, but please go ahead and have some champagne. I'm going to check the hallway, make sure we don't have anybody else out there. And I guess that's a wrap. Thank you. And thank you. And so do join us next time. We have a session coming up in just a few days that you do not want to miss with one of the leaders in the world of philanthropy on the Love Project. And that's something that sounds maybe a lot less serious than it actually is. It's one of the biggest research projects on philanthropy right now. So take a look at the schedule for that at DonorSearch.net, where you're going to find under the resources tab an entire calendar of all of our content. And while you're there, of course, you can learn more about your donors, which is a very important thing to do because we love them very much. So with that, I want to say thank you. And thanks to our producer, Jack, for keeping me on the straight and narrow. We look forward to seeing you next time. Till then, take care.
Wow.